morning. We are about to do morning yoga.
Sometimes when you don't know where you're going, the best thing to do is go there. A wise man once stated that an object at rest stays at rest. And while his rationale is a little different than mine, I'm going to borrow from his premise. Right? Because when you move, even if you don't know where you're going, you put yourself on a collision course with something. You put into existence an entity to react to. Some call it destiny. Others call it fate. I call it simply initiative. Because if your journey is hypothetical, you have nothing to celebrate nor correct. A sailboat can adjust its sails once it leaves the harbor, right? It can learn from and manipulate its surroundings, make sure it arrives at a destination, right? It learns and adapts along the way. But from the harbor, it speculates. It expounds upon a path that might be straighter, might be faster, might be more thought out and tied together than the crazy sailors who took off for the horizon, but in actuality, it goes nowhere. In the real world, it is stagnant, and I could be wrong, but I'd make the argument 10 out of 10 times that the real world is where we want our results. My proof? Well, a journey that started with insurance and evolved into music and songwriting and audio production, then video production and creative writing, then a sweet spot that kind of combined everything. A spot that didn't make its way to my inbox with an exact address. A spot that required a lot of failure and lessons learned and disappointment, but man, more than that, so much fun. Right, my proof is sitting down right now in real time, letting my fingers create a bridge from nothing to something of value. By the way, after sitting here staring at a blank screen for hours, it's just starting. Could I be wrong? Could I screw up? Could I wildly miss the mark? Yes. In fact, it happens more than I'd like to admit. But here's the beauty. Even if I am wrong, I now have something to work with. Something has been brought into existence. And well, that means I'm officially further along than I once was. And I've heard over and over again that there is no perfect moment, that you have to just go. And the idea, I mean, it makes sense. It's impossible not to understand, but it's one of those things that until you feel it doesn't mean anything. How can you miss something you've never experienced? Well, to put it in a way that helped me understand, you aren't going because, what do you have to lose? You're going because everything is to be gained. The answers that you pick up along the way, like the little coins you pick up in Super Mario, right? You have to start collecting pieces of a puzzle that you can then arrange. I truly believe that one of the most important ideas we need to hold on to moving forward is personal agency, self-belief. And I say that because I feel like I'm watching it slip. There are cases where we literally don't know or understand that it's within our own ability and control to change our lives. No person or group or letter in the mail is going to come along and green light your idea. In fact, you might not even really know what your idea means or how it will look. And that's not only okay, it's amazing. It's the marble that you get to chisel away at to create something. See, life is not the perfect execution of a plan. Life is the courage to make your way into a world that no one really understands or knows anything about. And I'm not talking physics or biology or quantum mechanics. I'm talking about the real life that is emergent from those areas of study, right? There is no perfect formula for happiness. But it will always be true that immobility or standing still is antithetical to progress. And there is plenty of data that supports the idea progress equals happiness. We want to move towards something. So that's what this is about. Right? Here's to not being scared of what we don't know. Because somewhere in the realm of what we don't know exists what we need most. So yeah, stop waiting for the perfect moment. And yes, begin. But not because it's an ultimatum. Do it because the things that make life fun and intriguing and exciting, ultimately worthwhile, they live on the other side of your front door.
At Smith Corona, we offer the lowest label prices on the planet. We don't think you should pay more than you need to. To achieve that mission, we have vertically integrated our manufacturing facility to make labels for less than anyone else.
Just go. Sure, things will feel strange at first. Abstract at first, wrong at first. It's incredibly difficult to separate from the past. It's hard to detach from the deeply rooted biological whispering of, hey, at least you knew what to expect back there. But that whispering has preservation in mind, not happiness. And at some point, we need to stop preserving that which is not ideal, so go. The walls that once existed, they'll crumble. And this will be startling at first. Shocking at first, intimidating at first. It's incredibly difficult to watch foundational structures crumble around us. Especially when you know you are the one that lit the fuse. It's hard to walk away from the faint murmur stating, hey, this was your home, how dare you leave it? But those words, they have status quo in mind, not growth. And home is an idea you take with you. It's no set of parameters. Just go. The stories you told yourself, the narratives you thought were forever will prove to be nothing more than the end of an underwhelming chapter. This will feel abrupt at first, unfair at first, will leave you deeply unsatisfied at first. It's incredibly difficult to realize that happily ever afters aren't linear, they're cyclical. It's hard to walk away from the voices pleading with you not to turn the page, stating that because their realities will remain the same, so must yours. But those aren't the characters with whom you'll emerge victorious. Some movies must be recast, the setting reimagined, the hero reinvented. And so it should be known that your greatest strength is the little steps that you are capable of taking. The little decisions you are capable of making. And remember, safety is not safe when it keeps you from what you need. And the wrong nows have a tendency to evolve into the wrong forever. The small concessions, well, they become the big mistakes. So if it's a sign you're hoping for, let this be it. If there's a time you're waiting for, let now be that time. If it's someday you are dependent upon, let today be that day. As doing nothing is in fact a decision, but only one of many. One path laid out before you, one single grain of sand, where the edge of today's world touches the shores of tomorrow's. Sometimes it's about the ability to stand up, face the horizon, and just go. Go because it's only upon going that you realize you're capable of the journey. You finally see in yourself the strength you've longed for. It's in going that you realize yesterday's situation wasn't even really the problem. It was your fear of the unknown, of leaving that situation. It was living with the devil you knew, instead of potentially having to face the devil you didn't. That's what happened to your wings. They just felt safer tucked away. But it's in going that we acquire perspective. The tragedies, the devastation, the things that kept us awake at night, they really weren't that bad. But how are we to know? When you build walls around yourself, what's within them becomes your entire world. It's in going that you create yourself. And while everything you need is already beating in your chest, the great unknown before you is the water to that seed, the key to that door. What you fear is exactly what you need. And so the beautiful dance through life goes on. Not beautiful because of its elegance, it's rarely that. But beautiful because of its promise, its malleability. Beautiful because we get to move without answers in order to find answers. Beautiful because what we become is directly proportional to what we're willing to endure. And that means that the universe doesn't judge. It doesn't know us by our failures or our mistakes, but by our courage. Our courage to face all of these things and move forward anyway. To relentlessly explore the resilience of the human spirit. An infinite light in an otherwise finite world, a bridge that is built beneath our feet in real time. What a weight off of our shoulders to know this. We don't have to get it right. We just have to step out the door trusting that we will pick up enough pieces to put together something meaningful. We just have to go.
Don't
and then
think
the
that
world,
was right.
it opens up.
But I'm gonna work on
Just
that
like
one
that.
some more.
Leave the old, embrace the new. Simple, you think to yourself. Well, yeah, of course, the best things in life are always simple. Always have been, always will be. We just imagine them to be difficult. We have a knack for making simple decisions into complex matrices of cause and effect. Pros and cons, wins and losses. We learn to think for years. Until we finally come to the brilliant realization that happiness, that meaning, that a life well lived comes when we think less. Ready, fire, aim. There is no perfect path, just an adjusted course, an endless series of change. Of learning that falling is just a road sign indicating where we need to go next. You can't plan for that. You can't chart a course that doesn't exist. No, you leave who you were yesterday behind and you set sail. They'll ask you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And you'll think, who knows? But not here. It couldn't be here. It must be somewhere evolved, where pieces of the world shaped your outlook and became the armor that you now wear. New game, new rules, new expectations, new people, new places. And what really changed? Well, how you view yourself. It's funny how it all works. How things come together when we look over our shoulder. Like it was meant to be. As if this had to be the way things are. No, you could very easily have stayed dreaming, looking out that window, wishing you could leave, hoping for answers that didn't exist. And so the complex now feels as simple as we meant it to. We move forward not knowing but trusting, and we look back with a sense of understanding and a confidence that was built over time. In the game of life, there are people who go and people who stay. People who build and people who don't. And I'm not saying everything will be perfect or everything will immediately snap into place. How could I? But what I am saying is that in moving forward, we pull back the curtain on the opportunity that is available to us. We move from the physical limitations of the bodies we walk around in and towards the infinite power of the mind that powers them. We become who we were always meant to be. How do we know what that is? Well, not until we look over our shoulders, of course. So go. Go make your mistakes. Go learn your lessons. Feel your moments of pain and your moments of bliss. Your times of doubt and your times of certainty. Because in doing so, you will have done the very thing so few people get to do with their limited time on this planet. Truly live. So go. Just go. Why is it that the average person seeks out the advice of what feels like a million people before consulting himself? Knocking, looking, hoping. Is he looking for answers? Or looking for permission to be who he already knows he is? Is he looking for insight or just validation that his reflection is in fact okay? See, I think we all deep down know who we are, know what drives us. And even if we don't know exactly what the destination looks like, our hearts know the direction best suited to begin the pursuit. So how is it so easy to forget? Why do we get our antennas crossed? See, when life becomes about meeting requirements and fulfilling obligations, checking off boxes and checking in on time, we forget the basics. We forget to live for ourselves. As if our job is to play a part, not direct the movie. And playing a part is living up to expectations. Directing the movie, well, that's creating your own expectations. This world, your world, it belongs to you. It's a world with both unimaginable happiness, bliss, moments of ecstasy, and the occasional suffering, chaos that we have to navigate through. But I think all of it comes down to whether you trust yourself to live it for yourself. To remove the shackles, take the training wheels off, stop asking permission, and do what you've always known was the right thing. That part never changed. It just had to wait amidst all your looking for external direction for you to pause and find the internal courage. Freedom is not a life without chaos. It's trusting yourself to determine which dragons you will slay. It's not a life without battles, but fighting those battles that result in your liberation, dismissing the oppressors that build fences in your mind and chains around your soul. I've thought a lot about the idea of a life well lived, what it means, how it feels, and it seems to me it's about intentionality. Where are you going? It's not that you can escape suffering or eliminate fear. It's not that you'll avoid getting lost along the way, but it's the why. Why we endure these things makes all the difference. Is it for a better tomorrow or simply to get through today? And it's amazing. Accidentally stumbling upon that which scares you and intentionally facing that which scares you are so different that their occurrences trigger completely different neural networks in the brain. See, overcoming fear is ingrained in us. We want to grow. We want to evolve. We need more. The question is whether you will step out of the line that someone else made for you and live a life that is your own. And if it's crazy, great. Let it be crazy. If it's unique, perfect. Stand out. And if it scares you, my God, if it scares you, don't turn back. Don't you dare turn back. Give yourself the most important permission one can give, the permission to follow your intuition and your curiosity into tomorrow. Let the stakes be higher, but the rewards be meaningful. Let the chaos be your own to tame and to master. Every twist, every turn becomes not only a part of you, but a chapter in the story of your becoming. And as the seed you've held in your hand for so long finally meets the earth and grows so high that it connects you to the heavens, remember that this is your life. It's your obligation to live it fully. So I'm going to share a life lesson with you. Something that over the years has been a true game changer. Ready? It's simple. It's very simple. Like most things, it's easy to understand. It's easy to comprehend. It's the implementation that's the challenge, right? But it's the idea that progress is not always a visible step forward. Growth is not always a measurable inch or mile, to feel good about, to celebrate. It's not always a tangible victory or pat on the back to smile about. Sometimes it's sidestepping. Sometimes it's stepping backwards, reminding ourselves to look up and gain perspective. Because we are always inclined to look at the immediate. That's what feels good. And this lesson says, no, there's a big picture to keep in mind. It reels us in. The big picture is what gives us purpose. It drives our happiness. That thing we want on the top of the hill. The North Star, the X on the map, that's what's sustainable. And I say it's been a game changer for me because, one of my biggest adversaries over the years has been that voice in my head, almost pleading with me to indulge in the thing that will bring that immediate result. It's money now, growth now, validation now. There's comfort there. Our minds want that satisfaction. That's why you see all those guys standing next to whiteboards saying they have the formula to make you rich tomorrow. We want tomorrow. We believe in some capacity that that can be real tomorrow. But that's what tends to lead us astray. And so I've spent a lot of time reflecting over the years on how to incentivize those steps that aren't immediately impactful. There's not the flashy medal you're going to get right now, but I know that if I do it, it's going to bring me to my long-term goal. How do I incentivize that? Because, like I said, the natural inclination is to dismiss it. I'm walking laterally across the mountain so that ultimately I can find the most applicable path and ascend. And that's a scary thing. Building long-term gives you very little to immediately slap on a resume, to brag or rant about at holiday parties. There's nothing flashy to impress with, but it's believing in a long-term game, doing what most people can't, trading that certainty that you could have had for an extraordinary later. It's never a loss to do what has to be done so that you can position yourself for the future. Sometimes you have to wade through the muck, work quietly in the dark so that you can build something that you feel will have an impact. It's not a loss to step backwards to tweak the things you're not happy with. It's not a loss to explore or question or reinvent. It's true, those actions in and of themselves aren't going to put money immediately in your pockets. But if you find the discipline to see the big picture, you realize that long term those things bring happiness, contentment, excitement. Which, guess what? Leads to accomplishment and progress and the financial stability that you're looking for. Chasing flashy things, chasing the immediate moment, yeah, it gets you a quick rush, a nice blast of dopamine, but it's empty. Ultimately, it's unfulfilling because nothing worth having is quick. That's life. But it's often the illusion that guides us, right? You'll never see how many auditions the 33-year-old actor went through before he was cast in a major film. You don't see that. You don't see the countless hours and shows and midnight gigs in front of 3 people that the rock star endured. You just don't. It's not celebrated. We celebrate what we see, and what I've learned is that the most important things, they're just not visible to the naked eye. And it's funny, it's like people, they're ashamed or embarrassed by the fact that they're climbing to the top of their own hill, to something truly significant to them. Because the person next to them is bragging about blindly leaping 3 steps. Right? And that's great. Progress is great, but unless it's taking you to where you want to be most, is it a win? I have many friends that have left 6-figure or higher jobs to podcast or create or start their own businesses, and people's first reaction is always like, wow, look what you had. Look what you're walking away from. We see scarcity. We are naturally inclined to see life through a lens of scarcity. You need to remember that. That's what we do. We establish and protect our well-being. That's why I've worked so hard to transform my thinking over the years. To look out and think, who cares what I had? Look what's out there. There are no limitations to what can be yours. If you're not on top of the world, make it happen. And I understand people are complex. Situations, they're not easy. They're intricate. Everyone's different. Everything is different. But there's a principle that's consistent. And it's that you can always improve your situation. That will never be false. To some degree, you can improve your situation. There's always opportunity. It's just what you see. A friend of mine sent me a text yesterday saying the past and the future, they're just imagination. All you have is now. Everything other than split second is the story you're deciding to tell yourself. That's it. Think about that. We're operating off what we decide is real or imaginary, possible or impossible. We're living in a world that is our own. There's no them or they or crowd, just individual people, all telling themselves some variation of a story. And so taking this back to the point, caving into that pressure, accommodating to the now so that we feel important, so that our self-worth sees that temporary spike and neglects the opportunity. It makes us feel like we're stepping forward, that we're progressing, but in reality, are we? That voice, that pressure to conform to what will impress Richard next door, will always be to our detriment. And it takes truly what I believe is the most pure, important aspect of life and sticks it in the closet so that we can feel like we're on par with everyone else. And I'll never forget starting out. And I bring this up a lot because it was one of those moments where I recognized that a huge shift was happening in my life. Went out with some friends from college, right? And one's working for a senator, one's a Goldman, one's a lawyer, and I'm thinking, well, geez, I just quit my job. But I have this really cool idea for a YouTube channel. And I just, I don't think any girls are going to be swooning over that. And I struggled, right? At the time, it was difficult for me. And I look back and I'm just thankful every day that at the time I was able to locate somewhere in my soul the courage to stick that out, to believe that if I executed on this dream, I could have an impact. Because like I mentioned above, it was painful in the moment. But when you think big picture, bigger things happen. Right? I'm doing things now that I never ever would have been able to do if I didn't have that desire to do the unconventional thing. If I stopped at sort of the discomfort, or if I stopped when I felt like I was losing this imaginary race to those people around me, I wouldn't have the creative flexibility that I have now. I wouldn't be able to do what I do now. I wouldn't have the people in my life that I have now. You have to earn that every single day. And it makes me wonder how many people stopped when they could have taken their own path, brought their own unique vision into existence, if they didn't retreat when they felt like they were a lone wolf, when it felt like they were a lone wolf, when it felt like they were losing or doing the conventional things, so they had to. They were too scared to step backwards. And I'm telling you right now, that step backwards, that ability to temporarily find yourself, to create yourself, that will mean everything. That will open doors for you that would never have existed. You never would have come across them because you would have been too scared to look for them. You have to make opportunities. Simple metaphor, gumball machine. Gumball does not come out if you don't put the quarter in and turn it. It's a price that has to be paid. Except in reality, the price is a lot higher than a quarter because we're conditioned to want to fit in. We're terrified to look like we don't know what we're doing. Every significant thing around you stemmed from someone pushing into that unknown. It came from someone risking everything. It's not easy when your family doesn't know what you're doing, your friends don't know what you're doing, or you don't know what you're doing. But if you want to have an impact, that is the road you have to take. That's the cost you need, the price that you need to pay. It'll be a hard year or 2 years or 3 years, but you won't regret it. So hopefully this can be a reminder to you. When I talk about lateral steps, that's the sentiment I'm trying to recreate. And I think that's the great thing because it means the people who create, who build something meaningful, they've earned it. And that's what I tell myself every day. Earn that dream. Earn that change. Right? Take that road less traveled. What you're doing right now is not insignificant simply because it's not immediately bearing fruit. I think if you listen to this back from the top, you'll notice the constant theme: immediate, now, present. These things are delusion. Right? As far as results are concerned, the work.
Good morning, I'm Megan of Megan's Plant Boutique. If you didn't know, I come here every day at 8 a.m. and I do this as a practice of self-discipline and wellness for myself, and to hopefully encourage you all to do some good goals on your own. I've been working on basically trying to be here and be consistent every day. I've been here and I've been consistent every day at 8 a.m. so I'm really proud of myself of how far I've come, because it's not easy to force your brain into doing something every day when it's something you're unfamiliar with. I'm not a yogi. I don't know how to do yoga very well, in my opinion. I'm learning every day, and I'm trying to get more flexible and build a little bit of strength as I go along. Hey Megan, who was that speaker? Today was Eddie Pinero. Eddie, E-D-D-I-E, Pinero, P-I-N-E-R-O. He is on YouTube. So he is a motivational speaker on YouTube, Eddie Pinero, and his speech was called Best Motivational Speech Compilation Ever, even though his wasn't a compilation. Maybe it was a compilation of just him. That's possible. But it was 40 minutes of motivation. So that's what Eddie Pinero was, that was his speech. And he's on YouTube. He's a YouTuber. So every day I try to listen to a motivational speaker, and I'm trying to branch out and reach different ones. Hey Papa D, thanks for joining my morning live. Hey Mama D, I know you're out there too. Good morning. So I hope everybody is off to a good start today already. And I know you are, because you told yourself you're gonna have a good day today. If you tell yourself you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, well, you sure did. You're the boss of you. So tell yourself to get up and get at it, because that's all you, right? You get up and you get going. Our speaker today was saying, 95% of us want to get to the top, but we don't have what it takes to get to the top because we don't have the 95% of that work ethic that needs to be put in there. We give about 5% and then just hope the other 95% shows up. He didn't exactly say it that way. He basically said only 5% of us will really ever get to the top because only 5 of us are willing to do what 95% of us are not. So he liked to use good motivation about, trying to say, putting the fire under your feet, saying, do you want to be like 95% of the people doing nothing to change their life, or do you want to be like the 5% of the people doing absolutely everything they can to change their life? So I don't know why you guys are obsessed with trying to see my abs right now, so I'm going to block you because we're not doing that right now. We do yoga at 8 a.m. every day. So if you're into that, come at 8 a.m. If you're not, go buy a plant and show me you support me. If you're here for things that are weird, go buy plants and, you know, put your money where your mouth is. Just kidding. Actually, I'm not. I have a 20% off sale going on my plant boutique right now. I'm Megan of Megan's Plant Boutique. So if you're looking for deals, there's a link in my bio for you guys to snatch up all my plants. So, Mr. All Caps, go snatch up all my caps and my plants. So I do talk about a little bit about the motivational speaker and then about my business after I finish up yoga. So I really appreciate you all sticking with me. This is a newer speaker that I hadn't heard before. Eddie Pinero was very smooth and very mellow. I really liked how he felt, you know, very meditative in his speech. It was like very refreshing to hear someone who was kind of having a spa speech. My other people yesterday were very loud in a way because they were really trying to empower you to get you motivated. This guy was coming, I guess the best way to explain it is I remember, I think it was Les Brown, he was talking about how they're the milk and cookies people and the chicken noodle soup people. So he was saying the cookie people are the people who, you know, you get in trouble and they come and console you even though, you know, you did bad. And then the chicken soup people come and help you at 2 a.m. when you have a flat tire and listen to your woes, and they're actually there for you. So that's the difference, I think, personally, between Eddie and the speaker we were listening to yesterday. Eddie's more calm, collected, more of a yoga voice, I think, personally. I'm excited to see what we're going to listen to tomorrow. I haven't picked it out yet, so I'm excited about that. Tomato soup, chicken noodle soup, same thing, I guess, right? You know, as long as it's food for the soul. Let's see. Yes, Mad Junior 333 is my mod, so he's here bouncing anybody trying to be weird and making sure people go to my website when I'm not paying attention. So I appreciate you all sticking through here, and my mod is amazing. Thank you so much, Michael, for moderating here. I haven't checked the comments here, so let me see. I do share the compilations on YouTube, so if you are a follower of me on YouTube, you'll see these speeches as well as the full live. I appreciate you all tapping the screen to show your likes and following me. I really appreciate that. I can see some of that when it pops up. I don't always see the comments when I am doing yoga because I'm trying to stretch and breathe. Are we in a greenhouse? Right, all these plants. So I'm Megan's Plant Boutique. So I have all kinds of plants. These are just like a handful of what I've got going. I definitely love plants. I propagate plants all day long. I replant plants. Today we've got a rainy day, so it's kind of dark outside, kind of dark inside, kind of dark everywhere. Oh, look at this. Hello from Philadelphia. Hi, Papa D. Oh, no, this was not a Les Brown. I saw someone. Why am I looking so washed out? Oh, well. Breakfast. Yeah, it's breakfast time. So I'm going to make another event like this because I do it every day. Do I know, speak French? Je ne sais quoi. I don't know. I don't know any French. I don't know. So what's up? So anywho, if you all are just tuning in, I will be back tomorrow at 8. Set your clock, set your reminder, RSVP to my event. I'm going to do some more yoga and stretching and breathing for some more motivation. Hopefully you all are working on your goals. If you're not working on your goals, I don't know what you're doing because you're wasting your time if you're not working on your goals. So every time I come up here and I show up on this mat, I'm here to stretch, I'm here to breathe, and I am here to be consistent and disciplined. So you're welcome to join. I encourage you to work on a hobby of yours or a skill, a thing that you've been intending to work on. Work on something. Maybe you just need to hear a motivational speech. Maybe that's you. I don't know. But work on something to benefit and better yourself because that's what I'm doing. I want you to get something out of this too. Maybe you just like, you know, a little bit of motivation in the mornings. I do. I need it. And it helps me start my day right. Also gives me an opportunity to talk about my boutique, Megan's Plant Boutique. I do a free giveaway every week, so if you're interested in a free 5-finger discount, free, as in you didn't even have to 5-finger it, you just had to win my giveaway. I have that going too. My giveaway is, I announced the winner on Sunday, and for real, you all are picking the winner this week by telling me what you're thankful for, and whoever's comment gets the most likes wins. So that's a video I have going right now. If you're interested in giveaways, you can win free plants from Megan's Plant Boutique. So that's live right now in my shop, and it's US only. I am based in Florida, so I don't know how to ship internationally and have your plants arrive alive yet, but I am working on it. So thank you for the compliment. Use your bunch of numbers. I appreciate it. What else do I have going on? So I have the giveaway. I do the yoga every morning at 8. And my shop is very live with a huge discount, 20% off. So if you're looking for rooted plants, cuttings, fresh cuttings, rooted cuttings, house plants, propagators, hanging propagation sets, you're looking for driftwood planters, if you're looking for unique plants, hit me up. I don't always list all of my plants, so if you see something on my TikTok that you like, hit me up, because I do exclusive offers for people that I like. So if you're somebody who interacts with me on TikTok and you're a nice person who is not disrespectful, then I'm probably going to be nice to you back. Where in Florida are you? I am in the Treasure Coast. That is the east coast of Florida in the south part. And it's always warm here, and I haven't seen snow since I moved here, which is thrilling to me. Sometimes it's fun because, like, when you look at the beach pictures in the winter and other people are posting their snow pictures, it looks like the sand kind of looks like snow. When sand is washed out, like, 'cause it's so blown out by the sun in a picture, it looks like snow. I don't know if you all have ever had that mix up, but I definitely have. We have 105 people here still. Like, what are you guys doing this morning? Happy Friday. I've got to get started on my day. I've got to go and figure out thermal printers. That is my newest thing that I am working on right now. So I have a thermal printer coming in soon. I have my propagation stations coming in soon. My huge propagation stations, I'm really excited about those. I'll be still doing more on my hydroponics station. If you're interested in following along on hydroponics, then come check me out, because I will be updating more about my hydroponics station. That's just one of them. I'm going to be finalizing those lights this week. I'm also going to be finalizing the stations over there, so we'll have some prop to order, so propagation to order. Hey James, how about check out the link in my bio? That way you can get plants for 20% off. You can check out all of my outfits there. Thank you. You're a tremendous light. Thank you. I appreciate that. Lane Kerner, good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday. I may be just getting some of the West Coasters waking up. Oh, my light just went out. But that's okay. You guys can still see me. I may have some of the West Coasters waking up. Now, I'm on the East Coast, so I wake up early, and you guys may just be tuning in. One of my friends in Arizona was saying 8 a.m. is like 5 a.m. for me. I know it's early, but I do update my lives, upload them to YouTube. So if you are interested in catching a bit of them, or you want to give me a little bit of support, just go and click it. It'll count as a view. I'll put it on YouTube. My YouTube is Megan's Plant Boutique as well. So if you're interested in following me everywhere, I do have a website. It's megansplantboutique.com, and that will lay out everywhere that I am. So if you want to follow me everywhere, you can. What else do I got going on? Okay, so my main shop is Etsy, but I do also sell on Facebook. I'm working on learning that. If anybody's a Facebook aficionado, I would love to learn from you. That way I can sell better on Facebook and Instagram. Right now I'm a pro at Etsy, that's it. I'm working on my GoDaddy website. My GoDaddy website is megansplantboutique.com, where I sell plants. Plants. That's what I sell. Let's see, what else? I'm trying to think. Oh, I repotted my lime bush yesterday. I'm really excited about that, because it was definitely root bound and not producing any more fruit. Well, also because we're going into winter, but because I live in Florida, things are very interesting here. You can overwinter quite a few plants here in Florida just right outside, no problem, because I don't get the freezing temperatures. The coldest I've ever seen it get here so far is about 44 degrees. And I feel very fortunate because that's exactly what I wanted to move into. Weather that never freezes. I can have my plants outside all year long. My alocasias, like my polyalocasia African mask, it'll probably die back a little bit and go into dormancy and be like a corm or whatever, but it'll pop back next year with super strength, because right now I guarantee it's root bound, but because it's going to go into dormancy, I still haven't replanted it. I should though, because it's been in that same planter for over a year now, and it's probably sick of that dirt, but it gets rainwater and stuff like that, so it's got to be getting its natural minerals, right? I don't know if you all noticed my plant cage back here. Maybe I've just been sitting in front of it the whole time and not talking about it, but check it out. This one is a black alocasia. I got it during spooky season because I just could not resist a black alocasia. I had a green one inside, and the green one got real leggy, so I put it outside. But hopefully this one doesn't require as much light since it has those dark leaves. Usually dark leaves indicate that it is a low light plant, because, you know, the dark leaves, they develop dark leaves because they naturally have an environment that is deprived of light. So I'm excited to have this plant. So if you're looking for low light plants, you definitely want plants that are like dark leafy foliage. Like if you find something that looks tinged blue, I guarantee that's one of those things that can live in very low light. Can you show me a Karate Kid? I am not the Karate Kid, so we'll move on from that. That's funny though. I'm not a karate person. I'm a plant person, so if you're into plants, that's something you guys can check out and support me there. I do have a little product line that I'm coming out with. I'm designing clothes now. I thought that was a lot of fun. You'll see me in some of my yoga gear out here. I'm looking for new designers for the apparel. I can put the design on the apparel, but not on the, I can't sew the material. I need somebody to have like a cool material. So if somebody sews out there, that's cool. Do you have a lot of abs for you? Yeah, people throw abs at me all day. Like that's what they do. They just, here's abs. I have a lot of abs for me. I actually have a lot of abs on Megan's Ab Boutique. Sorry, a lot of plants. Yes, I have a ton of plants. And I have a ton of plants for sale too. So if you want to check out Megan's Plant Boutique, that's the link in my bio. I never give a discount, and right now I'm offering 20% off. I've been open for more than a year, and this is the deepest discount I've offered. So if you all are ready for some deals, I just listed some micans, philodendron micans. Those are burgundy in color. They trail, they don't need a whole lot of light. So if you're looking for that low light plant that's gonna survive and be super rewarding and trail all over your house and build you an urban jungle, you want a philodendron mican. They're very easy to raise, and it's very easy to know when they are lacking water or need a little bit more, because they will either wilt or turn yellow. Yellowing from the outside of the leaf means that it's probably dry or nutrient deficient. Yellowing from the stem toward the outside of the leaf probably means that it is overwatered. You can always check on your plants to see if they're overwatered or underwatered by putting a finger into the soil about 2 inches deep. And that's how you know. A lot of people use moisture meters. I like moisture meters too, because moisture meters, you poke them down into your soil like so. You poke it, and then it'll tell you exactly how much moisture you have in your pot. Some people say these are inaccurate, but so is your finger if you stick it in there, because that's subjective to you. A lot of people like to pick up their pots and see how much they weigh to decide whether or not they are lacking water or not. So there's so many ways to figure out what kind of water or how much watering you need. James, thank you. Jimmy James, thank you for the gift. I appreciate the panda. There are 144 of you all here. Like, wow, thanks for coming to my live. Hey, how can I bring my hydrangeas back to life? Are they cut hydrangeas? Are they planted hydrangeas? I've seen a really cool thing with hydrangeas where people who have cut fresh hydrangeas dip the hydrangea flower into water, submerge it to bring it back to life a little bit, and they'll fluff back up, and then it'll be like a nice fluffy hydrangea, again, planted hydrangeas. So I personally I don't own any hydrangeas myself. I don't have a lot of experience with them, so I honestly don't know about hydrangeas in bringing them back to life. Did all the flowers die back? I think all the bushes around them may not be allowing enough sun. Are the leaves dying back, or is it the flower portion? Are the leaves looking spotted? Are they looking shriveled? Are they looking like they're just not changing? They're staying the same size and not growing at all? But they're alive and look the same the day you got them. Because if they're not getting enough sun, then they're going to be stunted. And what I mean by stunted is then they're not going to be growing anymore, because they basically don't have any food. So they're not taking anything in from the sun, so they're not growing anything out to get more sun, because they don't feel like they're getting any sun. Same size since I got them. And if you're watering them regularly and they're not growing, then it is probably a sun issue. Oftentimes I'll cut my bushes away from my crotons. I have a lot of crotons in my yard, so I will cut my bushes around my crotons so that my crotons can get that good light. I want my crotons to get that good light so they get that good color variegation. So sun definitely plays a huge factor in that growth. I have a bunch of kalanchos in different places in my yard, and the ones that are getting the best sun are doing the best green growth foliage. The ones that are getting the best sun are also starting to show me some new reblooms, which is exciting. And then those are just kalanchos. So I know kalancho and hydrangea, they're not really relatable, so it's kind of tough. Can we see your yard? I would totally show you my yard right now, but it is pouring rain right now. We're having like a tropical storm or something. I don't know what's going on. I just got a weather alert that says we are under some weather, extreme weather for the next 24 hours. I don't know what's going on. As a Floridian, I'm not too worried either, because we are out of hurricane season. All this can be is a lot of rain. Thanks so much. You're welcome, Justin. Ask more questions. So your plants are binge eating today. Actually, they're binge drinking. They're binge eating when the sun's out. They're binge drinking. I don't know if you guys get paused whenever I have to hit the button on my phone. I have 10% battery left. I usually clock out here at about 9. And we are trying to wrap this up here because I gotta go do some stuff. It looks like I'm not gonna be doing stuff outside today. It looks like I'm gonna be doing stuff inside today. Trying to decide what that is. Maybe like pest maintenance. I definitely did water all my plants with systemic the other day, and I did put fertilizer in them yesterday, all of those anyway. What else have I got to do? Maybe I'll check some of those plants over there. I might put some of them in the shower. I was thinking about that, like hosing them down, but it's raining today, so I might just toss them all outside for a quick rain. But I really want them to be able to dry off, so I don't know if I should stick them outside in this beautiful rain, because I know they'd love it. But getting them dry is a different story, and then keeping the ants away from them is also another story. So I'm thinking about how I might be able to do that. I've been thinking about getting like one of those rolly racks. Like I've seen, I think Irina's Aroids. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate the roses. Irina's Aroids, I think she has a little, I saw a tray thing she had, or like a rolly cart. And I thought that was pretty cool for being able to move plants around. I was thinking about like being able to roll those in and out my Florida room. And I thought that would be super helpful. So if Irina was here, I doubt she is, but I need to tell her that that was a cool idea. It gave me that idea. There are so many of you all on here that give me some of the best ideas. Like there is Plant Diva, I think that's her name. I need to find her. She had a magnifying glass in one of her videos. She was showing some of the common tools that she uses when she's, you know, doing her planty things. And she had a magnifying glass, and I was like, that's the smartest thing in the world, because, you know, sometimes it's impossible to see what's on the underside of your leaf when you're checking for pests, making sure you're doing good control here. And, you know, you're trying to make sure that's a node and not a bug, or it's a bloom and not a bug or something, you know, or it's a piece of dirt or a piece of sand. So that magnifying glass, I swear, definite lifesaver. I think that's wonderful. I need to tag that person and tell her that she made a difference in my life. Also, if somebody makes a difference in your life, go tell them. That's something that I think is so important. A lot of times we give people great ideas, or they give us great ideas, and we just take them and run with them and never say anything. Or we don't take them and run with them, we don't do a dang thing with them. But if somebody gives you a wonderful idea, you should take it and run with it and thank them for it, because your idea may inspire them to do something else too. So it's like a circle. Life is all connected. We're all connected. So if you all want more motivation tomorrow, more consistency, more discipline in your life, show up at 8 with me. I'm going to make a new event after this one. I'm going to schedule it for 8 a.m. like usual, so that we can all stretch, breathe, listen to some motivation, and then hear me chit chat about my plants. They are 20% off right now. So if you are looking for a deal for you, your mom, your sister, your brother, that girl you like, go get my plants from my boutique. Everybody likes plants. The ladies like plants. Let me tell you, if you give her, that girl you like, a potted plant versus cut flowers, she's gonna think of you more highly than she's gonna think of that person who gave her cut flowers, because she's gonna have that live potted plant longer than those cut flowers. So if you're thinking about sending roses, think again. Send her a pothos. She's gonna love it. Send her a syngonium. She's gonna love it. By the way, I sold the yoga plant this week, and I was really thrilled about that, because that was a really big goal of mine. I made a video about it and I sold it. So I'm excited about that. High five, everybody. Thanks. You'll be here at 8, Justin. Thank you so much. I'm gonna make the event now. I'm gonna go schedule it right now. I'm gonna download this video in about 5, 10, 15 minutes and upload it to YouTube. It takes me about an hour to get it to render and do everything right. So stay tuned for that if you are interested on YouTube. But I am out. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you all, and I will check you tomorrow.